Alaikum to listeners out there.
It's good to be back. This is our first show back this year. We set up a little relaunch now with some good promotion, and we're looking to keep this consistent. So we've got the first show we've got. Obviously, we're setting up with a bang. We'll introduce the brothers shortly.
But it's good to be back. Good to be back.
Definitely good to be back. A bit rusty, so we do apologise if we come across a bit rusty and a bit,
out of practice.
Out of practice, that's right. But we'll get it right. We'll get it right. Just want to give out the telephone numbers because I know a lot of you are going to be on standby. You want to send in your texts. If you want to call in.
No, we're not taking calls.
We're not taking calls. Okay, sorry, we're not taking calls. Only text, please. The text number is 07909 567 527, and I'll be repeating that throughout the show, inshallah. Well, I think we'll get right to it. We've got a brother in the studio, brother Aji Sharif from Reading. We've also got his boxing coach, his technical coach, Andy Edge. He's in the studio as well. This is a much anticipated show, I believe. A lot of promotion, a lot of word is going out on the street now. The brother's going to have his first professional fight. He is from Reading. He grew up in Junction. We all know who he is. So,
without any further
ado, Assalamu alaikum, Aji.
Wa alaikum salam. I'd like to say salam to everyone listening as well.
And Andy as well.
Yeah, good evening to everybody listening.
Okay, yeah, Aji. So, first fight coming up. There's so many things that we want to talk about. I've got loads of questions. People be sending me questions all day long. Make sure you ask the brother this. Make sure you ask him this. But we want to go. I think the best way to do it is we go from the beginning. Yeah. So we talk a little bit about life growing up in Reading, okay. And how was life for you, like growing up in Reading as a youngster?
Life was good. I was brought up in a good way. Mum and dad done a wicked job. I had my bad bits, like everyone does. Went to a nice school and everything. I think got a little bit brought away from everything when I left school a little bit, and it was like a little bit like a snowball effect, petty crime went to serious crime, and then from there it just spiraled on basically. But
generally, what you're saying, you come from a good home, good family.
Everything, mum and dad, brothers, sisters, had a wicked family. Everyone looked after me and gave me good advice all the way throughout. But just it's one of them things when you're growing up, you make mistakes. Yeah. And had to come and change.
We'll definitely touch on that. Later on. We want to get more deeper into that. We want to talk about why do youth, get into street life. We've titled this show "From the Street to the Professional Ring." I myself personally, I admire, what you've accomplished, and that's genuine. You've been boxing only 5 years, and you've got there. You're turning professional. Actually, you turn professional. You're gonna have your first fight. So, no one can fault you for that. So you have my respect anyway. So this is one of the reasons why I don't even mind interviewing you.
No, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to have you. It really is. There's a lot of people out there that've been saying, hey, they know the name Aji, but they don't know the man. Yeah. The reason you're in here is for inshallah, for you to introduce yourself, that you are a human being, obviously brought up, mashallah, by a lovely family.
Yeah, of
you
course,
can give Islam to your mum and dad. I know they're listening. Yeah, to your brother Sergeant as well. I know the family personally anyway. So, end of the day, inshallah, when this interview is done and over and done with, you'll see what the brother is.
That's right.
What he is for yourselves, instead of listening to what people say about him, the good, the bad, and the ugly of it, as I like to say. So, inshallah,
Yeah. Going back, the youth again, when you was young, what interests did you have? Who were your role models growing up?
Role model wise, basically, I always say boxing, just to talk about boxing. I had a lot of role models like Muhammad Ali and all. I used to watch a lot of boxers back in the day. And even used to like the way Mike Tyson fought aggressively. I used to just like these kind of different things. But tell you the truth, role model wise, as a person, when I left school, I don't really think of that kind of, that kind of thing. Like I was always into a different kind of mind frame to everyone else. So I'm not too sure. I think I matured a bit late. But role model wise, the only thing I used to have was boxing wise when I was young as well. I used to love watching it and You know, all those kind of boxers, I used to enjoy it.
Okay. Ali, so just boxing?
Yeah, it used to be boxing. I used to like all kinds of sports, tell you the truth. But out of all of them, I had the most passion about boxing. But I used to do rugby, and I used to play football here and there. And if the boys that know me from Junction know, I used to play a bit of cricket as well.
You know you didn't.
I was good. I was all right. I had all the whites. That's all I can say. I had the pads and everything else. But yeah. So it's about it, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we know one of the things about you is, you know, you're notorious in the sense that, you know, you can say, you know, mashallah, I mean, in a practical sense or in a positive sense, you know, you're changing your life around, and you want to do something positive, but you are still a bit like Marmite. You're one of those controversial type characters, you know. Yeah. Some people are going to love you, some people are going to hate you, even from your own town, you know. So, I mean, a lot of people, obviously, they don't admire the fact. A lot of people don't admire the fact that obviously the route that you might have chosen for yourself, yeah. And sometimes they might not even like the way you carry yourself, but that's just life. You're you, and you're just showing yourself as you know. But people really want to know, why did you choose the street life? Because you grew up with you come from a good family, respectable family. You know, you don't come from a broken home, and course, obviously you don't come from poverty either. So why did you choose that route?
Basically, what it was, I think when I left school, it was just. I think my mind frame mentally, I might be different to other people. I think a lot of people, you know, they'll get into smoking cigarettes like an addiction, or they like drinking alcohol, or they like taking drugs. And I'm not gonna lie, my addiction, I used to cause trouble. It was like addictive for me.
Yeah, the adrenaline.
Yeah, just that adrenaline. Like you hear like celebrities, you know, they go shoplift and they come out, just that little risk, and that I think they used to entertain me. You know, that little bit of violence. It just entertained me. It's not good. I'm ashamed of it, what I did. But you know.
So basically, I mean, it was more of a sense of trying to challenge your energy in the right direction, but you didn't find that direction.
Yeah, until really late.
And you've already admitted already that you matured late.
Yeah, of course, I did mature late, and I regret a lot of the things I did, but it's a way of life.
What were you doing at the age of, say, 13, 14? Where was your mindset then?
13, 14, I was in school. I was kind of good behaved. I was well behaved in school. I wasn't into anything silly. So I was just doing my study and
what
everything
school?
else.
You want to name the school?
I was at Maiden Early. So
I remember Aji. Aji's only a couple of years younger than me. I remember Aji. Aji growing up, you know, he was okay. He was a good boy. He was nothing like that. I think a lot of things happened for him in his late teens.
Well, that's what we're here for.
In his late teens, drastic changes, started happening to him in his late teens, for whatever reason, we don't want to get on to. I want to save the other bits for a bit later on in the show. I think we want to build up to that, So it's just, we're getting to the point now. Obviously, you got yourself into weightlifting, bodybuilding. You drastically got bigger, and this happened, in your late teens, early 20s, especially. You got really big. What influenced you to go that route? To really, I know you was always into sport.
From the weightlifting.
You was always into sport, but what made you go into that?
Well, it was my brother. I used to always look at, well, I still do. I look up to my brother, and he was a stone lifting champion, which is like a Pakistani sport that of stone lifting. He was, he won the British. You want to name him? Sergeant Sharif. He won the British, and then he went to Pakistan and beat like an undefeated guy from Pakistan and made him retire. He's well known in Pakistan as well. And then what it was, I used to look up to him, and I used to think, I want to be like him, be big and strong and training wise. And the thing was, he even knew, and my uncles and everyone knew I had some kind of, I was more powerful than the average person, So I started taking the weight serious, and then as my body developed, I started doing a little bit of bodybuilding, but I didn't compete in the bodybuilding, but weightlifting I competed,
So basically, your original role model for yourself was your brother.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to hear earlier, see who you looked up to.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
I think
originally it started off watching Sergeant do his bit.
Yeah, of course,
and then obviously growing up you went your channels.
Yeah.
And okay.
If anyone wants to get involved, we're not taking any live calls, but you're more than welcome to text in. The text number is 07909567527. I'll repeat that again. It's 07909567527. So, you know, we've got to the point now.
Baba. We're also on live video on Ustream. So if anyone's got a little iPod or iPad or whatever to watch live stream on, it's on Ustream/channel The Late Show 95.6 FM, and also via Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, the usual social media. We're all out there.
Do you want to give a shout out to the guy who's doing all the marketing?
Later. So we'll hear later.
Okay.
Can't give everything away.
Okay. All right. So I mean, we've got to the point now. You know, you're in your late teens now, and you know, you've built a lot of confidence for yourself. You're a hench. You know, you're known as the big guy now. You know, everyone's talking about you. So, what happens from there?
From there, I started doing the weightlifting or whatsoever, and I was still that immature kind of mental mind.
Mentally
frame.
still young.
Yeah, I was still young, but I was big. And then I think realistically, I started mixing with the wrong kind of people. And you know, if you're big and strong, everyone used to push you at the front. So if someone else is kicking off a fight, then you have to be the front one to deal with it. And then I got involved in a lot of silly things where, you know...
We're basically used for your...
Yeah, I was used for my strength and size, and I did a lot of things. And, you know, in a bad kind of way, like hurt a lot of people as well. And then I had to pay the consequences as well, you know. I had to do my time for Queen and Country.
We'll come on to that.
Yeah.
That's what we will have to come on, actually. Okay. We come to that because I'm breaking it down piece by piece, you know. So, you know, obviously, you know, you've done time. You know, what is actually, you know, what can you say is your lowest point? I mean, if it's not, I mean, what is your lowest point?
The lowest point, I think, for me, is being away from your family. You know? Being away from your family, you know, and then you got your kids coming and visiting you, and then, you know, it's not good.
Knowing that's environment.
Yeah, it's a dog's life, you know, so I don't wish that upon anyone else, so...
Yeah. Okay, well, I mean, we're going to get into that now, you know, prison life, for you, you know, how much time did you do?
I haven't done big sentences.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie, I have been in 4 to 5 times.
Yeah.
But they were for... quite a few of the times were remanded, and I used to get not guilty or whatsoever.
In and out sort of thing.
Yeah, but it was always in that. I went in when I was 17 to 18, I think it was. I went to youth offenders, Reading, and then I came out, and I had to stay in Birmingham for a little while, which I wasn't allowed back in Reading. And after I was always in and out, but prison life is just a load of nonsense, really. So
yeah, I mean, how did you typical daily routine for you inside?
Inside?
Yeah. Typical day. How do you spend? We want to know how do you spend your time inside.
Typical day for me inside. Basically, best thing to do in prison once you're in prison is to try to get a job or do education. And I used to try to just do a lot of education. Wake up in the morning, go to education classes, do maths, English, whatsoever, and then come back. And then basically, if you get a bit of gym time, do a bit of gym time. And then other than that, that's what all it is. Then the rest of the time you're in your cell banged up and you're sleeping, you know.
Did you read books?
I did read books, yeah. I did get an opportunity to read quite a bit of books, and it was good. It was good that kind of way, but it's still banged up and it's not good, you know.
Yeah. So it's pretty much routine.
Yeah, you just.
What helps you through that? I mean, what helps you through that?
You know what?
What motivates you to get through that?
You know what? I don't know. I might be individually different to other people, but I adapt to things quite quickly. So
you learn to accept it.
Yeah, I accept it. If I know I'm in there, I'm in there. So it takes a good week and a half to adapt, and I just adapted.
Okay. Sorry, Sog is messing around with the equipment, and I wasn't sure. I don't think he knows what he's doing either, really.
Been away too long, bro. Been away. Sorry, keep the flow going.
Yeah, I mean the studio's getting a bit packed now. We've got Paulie in the studio. Paul Bloomfield just turned up. We've got brother Nabil Asghar. He's in the studio as well, in the background, all shy. So
his time will come.
Yeah, I mean, we want to get onto the boxing, but before we get onto your boxing now, I want to talk to your trainer.
Okay.
I want to talk to you. So if you get Andy on the mic.
How you doing, Baba?
How you doing, Andy? You all right?
Good. Yeah, I'm
good. So I mean, tell us a little bit about yourself. You know, you're quite well known in the community for your boxing.
I've boxed since the age of 12 and have been involved in boxing since then. I'm 42 now, So that's a lot of experience in the boxing world. I've been involved in the professional game now for about 8 years, and that's it really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, what got you into boxing?
Well, I don't have much hair now, but when I did, it was ginger.
Okay.
So I was getting picked on quite a lot as a child, and it was my mum that put me into boxing at my disgust, because I was quite a frightened young man. But boxing tends to bring something out in children. It brings a confidence out.
Yeah.
And that's what it was. You know, it brought a confidence out in me. And then I think, you know, you could talk to anyone that's been involved in boxing. Once they have a spin, you know, and they've been involved in boxing for a little while, it's an addictive sport.
Yeah.
We were talking about addictions earlier, you know, and Aji and is getting into trouble. I think once you experience the boxing, it's very, very hard to get away from it.
Yeah, no, definitely. You always want to be part of it some way or another.
Most definitely,
you know.
yeah.
So yeah. I mean, you're active trainer now. You're a professional trainer.
Professional trainer.
Yeah.
Yep. And with regards to Aji, we're blessed really, because we have a big team involved with Aji.
Okay.
We have 2 strength and conditioning coaches. We have one of the country's top sport masseurs involved as well, that sees Aji once a week, and then myself on the technical side.
Okay.
So, you know, normally when someone gets into professional boxing at this level that Aji's at, they tend to be doing a full-time job, not able to spend much time training, and certainly don't have a team around them unless they're an accomplished amateur, you know, with a real big pedigree of achieving ABA status. So Aji's blessed in the fact that he's got a lot of people around him that are taking a great deal of interest and believe in his ability. And
the thing is, he's coming into the sport as a contender rather than as a journeyman.
Oh, most definitely.
You know, so this is the difference, you know, for those people who don't know boxing, you know, there's 2 ways of turning pro, you know, they say.
Yeah.
You know, either you come in as a journeyman, which is, you know, you just go in there and you just try your best and see what happens and maybe build yourself up the hard way.
That's right.
Or you come in as a contender who's actually turned professional for a purpose.
Yeah, to win titles.
To win titles. Yeah. And he's coming into sport as a contender.
Yeah.
So you know,
what's that? He's a man on a mission, is it?
Oh, definitely. Look, let's not beat around the bush.
I was just going to say, let's not beat around it. Let's tell it as it is. I mean...
Well, you know, you look at boxing as a whole. When someone comes into boxing, they're in their early 20s. So we've got Aji, he's 30. He tells me he's 30. I don't know if he is. But so what I'm getting at, we've got a guy that's coming into the sport. He's a late developer. So we can't mess around, you know. We've got to crack on with this. So we can't mess about. We've picked his first opponent, and his first opponent is no walkover. No. You know, he's going to be a tough guy for Aji for his first fight.
Yeah. Can you give us a bit of feedback on his opponent, so people know it's not hand-picked, so Aji can just beat the living daylights out of him?
You've used the phrase journeyman. Now, for anyone that doesn't know in the boxing world what a journeyman's not someone that comes in and gets his money and lays over. You know, a journeyman nowadays are governed by the British Boxing Board of Control. You can have so many losses on your record, and it's up to the British Boxing Board of Control to say, hey, you're risking your health, so if you don't take a win, we're going to pull your licence away from you. You've lost your source of income. So these guys, they have to put up a good show.
They need the money.
Yeah, you know, and they're hungry.
Yeah.
And this guy, he's had 2 months to prepare. Normally he's called out and he's got a week's notice for a fight. He's got 2 months to prepare for Aji.
Wow.
So you know, he's going to be ready, and he's going to come to want to do battle, and he's going to want to show the British Boxing Board of Control, I'm in it for winning. You know,
he's got self-pride as well. Boxers,
I actually done a little bit of homework myself, because I see myself as a little bit of a boxing historian, because I know a little bit, not too much, but I know a little bit, you know. And I actually admire the fact that he's taken on a guy who's had, you know, I don't know his exact record, but he's been around.
Yeah.
You know, and I looked at his record, and he's actually had 7 fights this year.
Yep.
Which proves that he's an active fighter.
Yeah.
And you know, Andy, you know, whether you win or lose, if you've had like a fight once every 2 months, that means you're always in the gym.
Yep. Always training.
And with boxing, it's not something that you can just train for 2-3 weeks and sit down for 6 months, like sit down for 6 months and train for 2-3 weeks and think you're going to be okay.
Yeah.
Because you need to have that feeling, you know, that feeling, the way to breathe in a ring and everything. So this guy is coming in with some advantage.
Well, let me tell you about this guy. He comes to the sport. You know, he makes money by fighting on a regular basis.
Yeah.
But like I say, the British Boxing Board of Control now, they take a hard stance on what we call journeyman. Now this guy's got he defensively, you know, that's his strengths. He's a very defensive fighter. He's been in with some of the country's top up and coming fighters, and there are only a handful that have managed to stop him.
Yeah.
So he's very durable, very strong, you know, and very experienced.
He can find a way to stick around.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. So without giving too much away, what we're looking to do is for Aji to come into this sport and make a statement. You know, in the boxing world, people are saying, "Cool, what a tough fight for his first fight." You know, is Aji up for this?
Yeah.
Well, I've been training with Aji now for the past year, and we've been working maybe 4 or 5 days a week for the past year. I don't think there is anyone else that knows Aji better than me in a boxing sense, especially at the moment.
Yeah.
And my confidence in Aji is through the roof. You know, and I've got no hesitations or reservations that Aji will triumph on the 16th of December.
That's great to know.
And do it in style as well. We're not looking just for the win. We want a stylistic win. Yeah, most definitely. Yeah. And that's what we're looking for.
I mean, when it was announced, and you know, you dig up the guy's name, and you see it, you think, "Ooh, hold on a minute." He's having his first, and the guy is like a accomplished professional he's fighting, not someone who's just had 2-3 fights as well, or someone at the same sort of level. Yeah. The guy has quite a big advantage in that sense of experience. So, you know, he's
going in deep, and also the guy has had 3 knockouts as well.
In his 5 wins.
Yeah, against up and coming, you know, opponents that are tipped to be, you know, champions.
Yeah,
he's knocked these guys out cold.
So you know, just for the youngsters out there, you know, what's a typical training session for him? You know, we want to inspire the youth. You know, we want to inspire the youth. So if you can tell a little bit about his training routine and stuff he does,
daily professional routine, what you got to put in.
Well, he's
looking good.
Like I say, he has 2 strength and conditioning coaches as well, and they pretty much do the strength and conditioning work. So his sprints, his weights, his core work. General fitness is with those 2 guys. With me, what we work on is technique, and we're in the gym 4 to 5 times a week. And we go over, specifically now we've got our opponent, we go over a strategy to overcome. We look for weaknesses in the opponent, and then we build our training around those weaknesses with combinations. So we go over and over. It's complete dedication. You know, for any youngsters out there wanting to come into boxing, it's a hard sport. And you need to be dedicated.
Yep.
He trains 3 times a day. He's up for his early morning runs in the morning. Then he goes back, has a rest, has some breakfast. Then he'll be doing another gym session with a strength and conditioning coach around lunchtime. And then we're together from about 4 o'clock.
Yeah. That's it. This is a sport where you can get exposed very quickly.
Very quickly. There's no shortcuts in boxing. None at all.
No. If you do take shortcuts, you're going to get shown up quickly.
Most definitely.
You know, it's just the way the sport is.
Yeah.
It's just the way the sport is.
Worst case scenario. If he doesn't win his fight, what happens? No, you always go worst case scenario, obviously.
No, but they don't think. Fighters don't think like that, Soggy.
No, I'm not saying they do. I'm not saying he's thinking like that. I'm just saying.
Well, I'm not thinking. I'm certainly not thinking like that.
No, okay.
Yeah. This is not football.
I'm sorry.
This is not football. You know.
No,
this is
so losing's not an option.
It's not an option. This is a do or die situation. You know, he's in it.
No,
he's in it for winning.
I was going because as a footballer, as a professional footballer, you it's a like 2-year contract, 3-year contract, and you take what you can because it's a limited. It's a limited career. Yeah. Whereas boxing, your career could be ended in a split second. This is what I'm saying. Yeah. Worst case scenario. Obviously, I apologise if I offended.
No, you've not.
I'll take it back. But I mean, just all the hard work of martial art to be looking like
just
that.
Just watch Aji on the way out.
I'm going last.
He's got a vicious left hook.
That's good to know. I mean, that's what I'm saying. That's good to know. I mean, over to you, Aji. Just for a quick personal question here. Like, you know, your mindset. There's no negativity at all. Is that down to your coaches? Inbreeding that into you, taking all that, all that rubbish out of your head and got you 100% focus on what you got to do?
It's just, you know what, if you train hard, they say there's a lyric they use. They say the more you sweat in training, the less you bleed in battle.
I like lyrics.
So,
I like,
you
give me
know,
some more.
and that's what I believe in, you know. So
well, give me another one. Is that, which one is that?
So basically,
so
you want to write that one down?
I'll
Yeah,
write that down for later.
It's the more you
I thought
sweat.
I was good at lyrics,
the more you sweat in training, the less you bleed in battle, and that's what I believe in. You know, if you put the hard work in, you can't. You know, it don't register for me to lose.
Soggy, you got to tell that to your football team on Sunday morning.
they got to turn up first.
Yeah.
Soggy runs a football team, by the way. Sunday mornings.
All right, let's not go there. We're here. Let's not take the hype away here. That's a good lyric to have. I mean, the other one off the record. Well, I was going to tighten anyway. I was going to do my own little profile and Reggie with my own little piece. Was it's time to get paid for kicking butt. I love that. I love that. I don't know when he said it or when he said it, but it's stuck in my head. So it really is time to get paid for kicking butt. So over to you, Baba.
Yeah. Going back to the boxing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ultimately, you know, what made you decide to really go into boxing? Because 5 years ago when you started, obviously you was a big guy, you know, was really muscle bound and stuff.
Yeah.
People were like raising their eyebrows, you know, saying he's too big, he's too slow, or he's not going to last, or whatever. But obviously you stuck to it, and you are where you are now.
Yeah,
so you've proven a lot of people wrong, you can say.
Yeah.
So, you know, ultimately, what made you go into boxing?
I think when I was like 15, 16, I went to Bournemouth Boxing Club, and you know what, I always had a passion for it, and I always wanted to do a bit of boxing, but all that the mad lifestyle drifted me away from everything. But when I did get an opportunity, I did want to take advantage of the boxing, you know.
Yeah.
So a time come, I think it was 2006, I think it was, or 2007. I had a weightlifting competition at a TNT gym. It was a squat, bench, and deadlift. I won that, and then I remember my mate Taha, he was standing behind me, and there's a couple other people, there's about a good 30-40 people watching, and then I said, Taha, you know what, I can't be bothered to do the weights no more. I've done it, I've won these competitions like 2-3 years running, and now I think, you know what, I might go into boxing. And I remember a couple of them boys just like laughing. They go, listen man, you ain't got the commitment to do this. You're too big, you're too this, you're too that. And I was like, listen, alright, cool. And I'm the kind of person, you know what, I like to prove people wrong, and I stuck to it. And then I started training with Tommy, and then within a month I had the first unlicensed bout, which I won as well. So it was good. From there I just stuck to it.
But it's not all about just showing people, is it? I mean, come on. Or is it?
No, it's not about showing people. It's about basically like I said, I had the passion for it from the beginning, but it's good to show people as well, I reckon, because some, you know, just like Mayweather as well, you know, everyone wants him to lose, but he shows him different ways.
No, I think obviously you're the pro. You know, you're the pro, but I think that if you have an attitude in life, in any aspect, where you do everything just to show people, it's going to catch up on you.
It does.
You know, you're going to need to want to do it, because at the end of the day, when you go to sleep at night, it's just you, and if what you're doing is fake, you know, it's going to catch up.
Of course it does. You know? But the thing is, like I said, I had the passion for the boxing, and I got a lot of pride as well. So I wanted to do it I wanted to test myself, see how far I can get. And
have no regrets.
And basically, you know, I didn't want to get old, hit about 50 or 60 and say, you know what, I should have done that, man. I wanted to do boxing, but you know what, I didn't do it. And it's something I had a passion from since young, you know. So I just thought, let me give it a go and let's see how far I get. And then as I started training and I got better and better, confidence built up. And then I knew, you know, that, you know what, I think I might be destined for big and greater things, so I stuck to it.
Inshallah, you know, it's all in God's will, you know. It's all in God's will. So next thing I want to ask is the nickname, the General, right? Where did his name come from? You know, you weren't called that before. You know, it came out from nowhere. Where did that name come from?
I think originally, when because I've had 16 fights in the amateurs, like
how many?
16 bouts. I had 8 unlicensed.
16 fights already?
I had 8 unlicensed and 8 amateurs, which I only lost one. And the thing was, during the amateur bouts, my phone, my phone used to be always ringing, and my friends used to be ringing me and trying to talk to me, and I used to all be telling my friends, listen, I'll call you back, or I'm training, like always talking to him in a kind of way where I'm giving him orders, you know. He's
I'm busy.
Yeah, I'm busy,
listen,
really, you know, giving them like, it sounded like I was giving someone orders, you know, all the time.
Okay.
And then Tommy used to be listening every time, and Tommy was my amateur coach at the time, and he goes to me, listen, you know what, that's your new name, we should call you the General, because you talk like the General. And then from there it stuck. And then a friend of mine, he used to say that, call a little name, he picked it up from the boxing thing as well, started calling me General, and it just spread basically. So I used that as my fighting name, the General.
So you self-proclaimed.
Yeah. So
Okay.
so I think Tommy's the main guy. I think.
Sorry, bro. What tune do you enter the ring with, or don't you have any music, or you just, you know, everyone has their little, you know, for people out there listening,
Yeah. I've walked into loads of different kind of tunes.
You haven't got your own theme.
I have got one song that a friend of mine made for me.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I have got one song, but I haven't really walked into the rings and all that with it yet now. But I think I haven't got a fixed tune yet. I'm still trying to find a good one. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you want someone to write lyrics for you, or you got people?
No, I've got someone that wrote a proper good one for me. It's on the YouTube, one of the videos.
What's it called?
Is
it halal?
Not really, no.
Okay,
it's not really now.
No?
But
Okay,
it's
okay, we won't plug it.
I haven't got
it's for the youth out there. We're not plugging it.
That's what I mean. I haven't got a radio edited version yet, but
okay.
Yeah, but I'm not really going to be walking into that. Yeah.
Why, Soggy? You want to play on the radio now?
No. No, but I'm just saying, you know, you're linked with something in general. I thought he'll have a tune, like every boxer have their own little theme. Well, was that you, man? Simply the best. You know, you can relate.
We're still going through a couple of tunes. We're trying to find the right one.
Yeah, but there's brothers out there. There are interviews.
So we got some
lyrics like that. So
text messages.
We've got plenty. They're coming in by the bucket load. Okay, let me just pick a couple out for you. Okay, I'm liking this one. I'm an aspiring female Pakistani boxer, but I'm scared to tell my family because they are quite traditional. Any advice, please? This is to Andy, please. I mean, as a female.
Andy, be careful what you say now. Yeah.
Let's put me under pressure here. Thanks a lot.
No, because we're all Pakistanis ourselves. Take the Pakistani bit out of it.
Listen, take the Pakistani bit out.
Yeah, take the Pakistani. But let's target female boxers.
Well, listen, all boxing gyms now, all amateur boxing gyms, they cater for female boxers.
This is what I'm saying. So there you go.
So just contact your local
out there,
amateur boxing gym,
That's
but please speak to your parents first.
Yeah, there you go.
Sister, I don't know how old you are or whatever, but
well, I think there's a lot of Muslim girls now. They taking part in like kickboxing and martial arts or whatnot. But I think if you want to look at Islamic sense, you know, you got to think about the environment that you're in. You know, we got a brother shaking his head saying no, but you got to look at the environment that you're in. You know, obviously it can't be mixed, you know, and all these things. But obviously that's for a different show. I'm not a scholar either, so we leave.
I mean, personally, I don't see nothing wrong with it. That's me. People have got to learn to defend themselves, whether it be martial arts or boxing. End of the day, it's a disciplined sport. So, sister, inshallah, you know, the question has been left in the air.
Okay, I got one for you.
I got them. Can I just go through
sorry,
this?
you've been slow, man.
I'm sorry, man. It's one of these phones. Look, you see these phones? It's not an iPhone. Oh my. Okay, it's the infamous one. Ali and Tyson. Who would win?
Well, in their prime,
Yeah.
I think Tyson.
Oh, come on!
But honestly, I think Tyson.
No way.
No, I disagree on that one. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Athlete of the century. You can't beat that title.
For the person who takes, you should ask me. I will give you the right answer.
But they just wanted Aji's opinion, they got Aji's opinion. Carry on. I'll go through them all.
Okay, I've got one question. It's a bit of a tough one. It's not as easy as the other one that it was just sent.
There's no right or wrong in that answer. It's just a personal opinion. We know it's Ali.
Okay, all right. This is a controversial question, but it's a question that people talk about all the time. Anyway, you know what's going to come now. I think anyway. Okay, coming from a bodybuilding background, weightlifting background, you've now entered the sport, the noble art.
Yeah.
You know, the noble art, which is boxing. You know, you train hard, and the best man wins fair and square.
Yeah.
what's your thoughts on the PEDs in sports? You know, and especially in boxing now, where a lot of boxers now are taking these things. Do you think that they have a place?
What, for drugs and steroid abuse? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it shouldn't be used at all. I think it shouldn't be used at all. Because bodybuilding, weightlifting, you're not hurting anyone else. Do you understand? You're competing against other people, but you're not in a physical contact with people. In boxing, you got physical contact with someone, and at the end of the day, if you're taking steroids and your aggression levels over the roofs and you got extra energy going out, you can seriously hurt someone, you know. So it's not good to use. And plus, also when you go, especially when we went in front of the British Board of Boxing, they actually proper thoroughly go through it with you, you know. They sit in front of you and they give you a proper go. And right now, everyone's getting tested, and a lot of people are getting caught using steroids.
Also, you have medicals to see if you're...
Yeah, you're gonna... Everyone gets drug tested, and I'll probably get drug tested a lot.
Can I say something on this one?
Yeah, of course you can.
With the British Boxing Board of Control, they work in conjunction with the anti-doping. And
in sport, basically, across
the
board.
Yeah, and as a professional boxer, as a trainer, as a manager, we are all open to being tested by the anti-doping sport at any time. They can come round to your house at 3 o'clock in the morning. They can come to the gym where you're training, and they can demand a specimen then. If you refuse a specimen, it's an instant 2-year ban. So there's no room for cheats at all in this sport.
What about all this stuff like, you know, they can hide it? I mean, they can get it out of their system in time, and do all these sort of theories. I mean...
Theories, I think they're theories. I mean, there's talk that in the boxing world, there's talk that Vladimir Klitschko and some other big name fighters are taking steroids. They've never been caught
proven,
taking. Yeah, never been proven. Mm-hmm. So if it's just all hype. It's a sport where it's not tolerated at all.
Yeah,
no cheating whatsoever.
Yeah, like I said, the British board, they're proper thorough. They give you a proper looking, and you know, even they send you a booklet and pamphlet, everything. Even if you take anything else apart from just even steroids, and you get tested, you're in trouble. Just like they got a list of things they gave me. You know, they said, look, certain protein shakes, I think Sudafed, certain Sudafed capsules, certain Lemsip, any kind of medication different. They go, look, anything you put in your mouth is your own responsibility. So you have to check it first. You have to see if you're able to take it, because if you do get positive for anything, and then that's it, you're out. You're gonna either get a ban or you're gonna get a fine, as long as that. So
I know fighters of the past, they've used nasal sprays and stuff like that, and they've come up showing us positive, and they got in trouble for it. But at the end of the day, they're just using a nasal spray. But you know, they have to pay the price for that. You know,
but that's what I mean. They'll warn you before everything. You know, once we was there, they warned us about everything. So. And like they said, anything you take, anything you do is, you know.
So I know they say you're solely responsible, but who do you take advice from? Which part of your working team is that under yourself? Is it
the boxer is responsible for what he takes?
Intakes, yeah. But I mean, if he was unsure of something,
his team advises him.
Which member of the team?
What we do, we go. You've got a web search. You can go onto the website. UK, I can't think what it's called now, but the anti-doping website, and they have a search engine in there.
Yes, in that, yeah.
So if there is any ingredient in any of the drinks or supplements, you can put that into the search, and it will tell you whether it's a banned substance or not.
Okay.
So that's the backup that we have.
Okay, listen to 95.6 FM. This is One on My Radio. We have a heavyweight show. We are blessed with the presence of the General. Well, he's my Rocky. I will come to that later. We had studios full. We have brother Nabil, part of the guest, came with the brothers. Assalamualaikum, bro. I know in the background. We'll have a chat with you later. Brother Paulie, resident as usual. Been busy. That's why I didn't want to shout at you. And we have, well, this brother goes unmentioned all the time. Brother Yasser in the studio. He's doing the Ustream, which is going live. He's our admin. He's our everything, basically. He's on the web, he's on the Twitter, he's on, I mean, without Yasser we're not here, basically. So Yasser, I'm going to take this opportunity to say thank you to yourself. I don't want to embarrass you or nothing, so inshallah, you know, take that as a compliment from the heart. It really is heartfelt for what work you do for us, and mashallah, thank you for that.
Okay, if you're just joining us, we've got Aji Sharif in the studio. He's just about to have his first professional fight. We've been talking life, boxing, steroids, hate, love. We've been talking about everything, and alhamdulillah, it's been a great show so far. If you want to join in, we're not taking any live calls, but you can text. Any text that you might have is to 07909 567 527. I'll say that again.
Slowly.
07909 567 527. So, moving on. Right, okay. Obviously, we've already discussed, the reason why he's turning professional. This is not, how can you say?
I want to know who spotted you as a boxer. Who, looking the way you do. I mean, obviously you've been into weights, and to say that you lost 3 stones,
yeah,
and you still look, mashallah, look like who can I describe? What's that rock's name? He looks. If people out there don't know Aji, pictures will be posted. Look, picture the Rock, and then your picture Aji. To me, that's my description. If anybody is close to that. And for you to lose 3 stones, martial and still look in that shape, it wouldn't have been easy for you to get into that condition.
Yeah.
Whose eyes thought that you can box? Who said to you, or did they see you on the street and say, boy, this man could knock man's out, he should be boxing, forget this rubbish on the streets, let's do the real thing? Who put you in the right direction to get you to where you are now? Was it yourself, Andy?
No, he was already boxing.
Sorry, take the mic.
I first saw Aji boxing at Majewski.
Well, you just randomly went along and...
Yeah, I was there with another amateur club, and Aji was boxing there under Tommy's. And I remember that must have been about 4 years ago. And I remember seeing him fight then, and I thought, this kid could be something. If he dedicated himself, and put the right training in, he could...
You saw the potential in him then, on
Most
that night?
definitely, yeah.
Okay. Coming back to you, Aji, swiftly, sorry. Who pointed you in the right... Well, I don't know. Did anyone point you in the right direction, or did you just... someone must have seen you, like, in football. I'm coming back to football because that's all I know. You get, as a talented player, you get spotted by a scout who forwards you onto a professional or club and say, look, give this man a trial. In your case, who spotted you, if anybody?
Boxing wise, I just went into it myself when I first started. Amateur style and unlicensed fights, I went into it myself.
What's to the people that don't know that amateur fights? Can you, like myself, can you give me a bit of background into that, please?
I think unlicensed fights, there's you get like white collar. You could get ex-pros that fight who've left the game, or ex-amateurs that left the game, and then, or other people that want to train and just box,
They're just random boxers.
Yeah, it's like it's
not licensed, it's not sanctioned, basically.
Yeah. Oh,
so you just okay.
So you do get some tough fights, and I'm not gonna lie. Some of them are proper ruthless,
Yeah.
And amateurs is a bit more. It's more just before you turn professional. Everyone tries to get a bit of amateur experience.
It's regulated.
And it's regulated, yeah.
It's controlled, yeah. That's correct, yeah.
From the ABAs and also.
Sorry, coming back to my original questions. Who?
When I went into, after, like I said, I stopped the weightlifting. I competed and I won, and I just went into boxing myself just to do it. And then and then Tommy see the potential in me, and he said, "Listen, you know what? You can become something, and you need to stick to it."
Who's Tommy?
Tommy was my old amateur coach.
Okay.
And then I stuck to it, and I carried on training. I had fights, and I carried on winning, and then basically, before the professional, then someone else that drove me to go into the professional level, and that was basically a different kind of person where I met,
But ultimately, it was you. It was a belief you had in yourself.
So how did you find this team around you? That that's obviously. Because they're not going to jump on board on a dead horse. Basically, there's obviously someone seeing potential because everybody's to gain from you being successful. Basically, your coach. The more you make the coach make, obviously that's how is that how it works?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the more successful Aji is,
the more successful your CB is.
Yeah.
So obviously someone spotted something in him. I can't keep coming to that, Mr. Aji.
Basically,
The
I'll have to
general.
go, basically, when I was inside this time. It was about it's probably a good 3 years, no, 2 years. I was inside, and I met a guy there. This person called Tony. I can't remember his surname, but Tony's name. He's a lifer. He was doing life in prison.
Okay,
and,
now we're getting to the real bit.
He was doing life in prison, and in his time he was a middleweight boxer. He used to box, and he's from the East End side, and he used to do things for, like, you know, the old school gangsters used to get in East End, like Craze and all them. He's them kind of the younger generation for them.
Okay.
And he used to see me training all the time in the gym, and he used to see me doing a bit of boxing, training, like moving around, shadow boxing and stuff. So he come up to me one day and he goes, "Look, I'm gonna make you some pads, so you can do a bit of pads and you know, you could do a bit of training, and I'll help you out." And I said, "All right, cool, no problem." So every other day I'd meet up with him in the yard and we'd do a bit of pad work, and he'd see me move, and he was like, you know, he just said to me, "Look, Aj, like, what are you doing in there? You know, what are you doing in prison? Like, why are you wasting your life for?" He goes, "Look, I can see the talent you got, and you need to forget all this crap and stay out of this, you know, place, and you need to get out there and proper take this boxing serious, you know, because you got potential, and I know you got potential, and I've only met you. I've only been with you for like 5-6 months, and I know you can make something of yourself." He explained to me, he started telling me, "Look, you know, I used to be a boxer, and then look, everyone else used to use me. I was the main guy from my area, and then I was a frontline person. Everyone used to, whenever there was a problem, I used to be at the front. And then one day, basically, he got into a bit of problem with someone else, and he shot the person, and he killed him. And he's been in since I think he was about 50, in his 50s, you know.
Okay.
And I think he's been in since he was 19 or 20 years old.
Obviously, he's got self-regret, which you don't want to.
Yeah, of course. And he's telling me, "Listen, you know, you don't want to be going down that way and wasting your life. So get out there." And then in front of me, he made a phone call to Peacock's boxing club in East London, where Martin Bowers and Tony Bowers are the main trainers. Then they're quite well known, and the club's a well-known boxing club. So the day I left prison, and that was it, I made my mind up. I said, "You know what, I'm going to go for this professional thing." And I made contact with Tony and Martin and Peacocks, and I started training in London, in East London. And I was travelling up there 3 times a week, leaving home at 6 in the morning, getting there for 9, training till 12, and then getting back at 3. So it's like I was committed, you know, and I just stuck to it.
Yeah, that's the way to be. I mean, is that sort of advice you would give to the youngsters now? I mean, about being committed? I mean,
of course, you know, I see a lot of youngsters nowadays, you know, they're all chilling out on corners and they're smoking weed, or they're just causing problems, and, you know, it's not worth it. I've done it, and it's not worth it. It's best to get that little bit of discipline in you. You don't need to necessarily go into sport, but just to, you know, sort yourself out. And you know, the most important thing is keep your family happy. And
great shot, yeah.
You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, you'd only realise when you have your own kids, you know, what kind of suffering they go through. And yeah, you know, sport is a really good thing to get self-discipline, and boxing for me, it showed me the right way and the right path, and it just keeps you away from all the bad things, you know, in life.
Another thing I want to ask you about is the you know, the Reading community. You know, you're doing this thing now. You know, obviously you do want the people to get behind you. You know, you want them to get behind you. You want to be, you know, big up the town, as they say, and, you know, and be proud, represent, and be proud of where you come from. Why should the people really get behind you? You know, because obviously, because of your past and stuff like that, you know, people want to say, "Oh, allow him." You understand?
Yeah.
But you're saying you want to make amends. You know, why should the people really get behind you and, you know, support you?
I think you know, people make mistakes. Like, I made a lot of mistakes, and I'm ashamed of my mistakes. So people that know me well, they know I've changed, and now it's time for me to show everyone else, you know. And like I said, Andy would tell you, I've got a lot of potential, and I know I could go all the way. I'm aiming 18 months to have a British title, so I want to put Reading on the map, and I just, well, you know, it'd be good to have all the support with me, get everyone behind me, because I ain't gonna let no one down.
I think I just remember something. I think this was when you came out of prison. I think the first time or second time or something, and you was talking to me about respect. You might not remember, but I remember now because you just talked about this.
Yeah.
You was talking to me about respect, and you were saying that this so and so, he can't say this to me, he can't say that to me.
Yeah.
You know, I want to do well. I want to get the community behind me. This and that. And I said to you, hold on. I was listen. you know, you really have to prove yourself to the people.
Yeah.
You know, and the more good you do, the more successful you be at your way, and you carry yourself with honor and dignity, the people will get behind you.
Yeah, of course.
You know, it's not a way of, oh, this guy said something to me, he don't like me, I'm going to break down his door. You know, I don't think that's the way, you know, it should go. But, you know, he's showing us a lot today, Soggy. He's become a man.
Bro, respect is earned. It's not bought in any which way. I mean, from what he's done, it is inspiring. Me sitting here is inspiring. No one's an angel. You know, everyone's grown up, done stupidity, whatever. But this brother here is driven by passion, just to prove what I call the haters wrong. Well, to me, the haters are motivators, and it's my motivation. The more the people want to put you down, the more you want to rise against it. To me, that's what a champion is. You know, inshallah, you know, he'll do well and put Reading on the map for the right reasons. Our concern here, me and Baba, is always gearing to the youth and the kids. We need a Pied Piper in Reading to lead these kids to a positive path. Yes, we see stupidness on every single corner we turn to. And we've been talking about this for years. I think we've grown old together just talking about it. Reading needs a figure from our community to stand up and say, look, doing this will lead you to this, but doing this will lead you, inshallah, to where our brothers is destined to get to. You know what I mean? The vibes I'm getting from you two, there's no negativity. And that's, wow, amazing. There's not even a hint we're going to come second. We're just turning up for the sake of turning up. So, you know, that's inspired me alone for what I do to install in the people I got with me. So, you know, it comes from the top. So there's not a vibe saying, there's no negativity. So yes, we're going to go do the job, we're going to do it, and inshallah we'll be back, and we want you back, with whatever you bring back. So, you know...
You said earlier, why should people get behind Aji? Well, you know, there's a bad story coming good. And what a better example for all these young children, all the young Asian children out there, you know, to get behind somebody, for the parents and everybody to get behind Aji, who wants to change his life around.
Who has?
He's doing it. Yeah.
It's not going to happen overnight. It never does. It's obviously the mindset.
No. I think people really need to appreciate, you know, what it takes to even get to where he's got to.
Yeah.
Well, this is what I was going to say.
People might undermine even this accomplishment, but to get to that is a great feat in itself.
When I first met Aji, which is just over a year ago now, and if I'm going to be honest, I was apprehensive, thinking, crikey, I've asked some questions about this guy, and he's been a bad man. But you know what? I've been shown nothing but pure respect, and my family, my boy, who's 6 years old, you know, he loves Aji to pieces. My family get on with him, and we've just been shown the utmost respect from day one.
Great words.
And I've seen him treat other people. You know, all the other kids in the boxing gym, they all come and talk to him. Nothing but respect from him. You know, it would be so easy for him to say, you know, what are you talking to me for? But never. He will stop training to give time to these young kids.
So this is exactly why we want to break down the boundaries of what perception is of, you know, why people see Aji on the streets. It's like, can we approach him? What you just said is amazing. You know, just hit the nail on the head. What we're trying to bring out of Aji here, you know.
Yeah.
He is very, very down to earth. To me, he's a little baby. You know, honestly, I remember him as a little baby. I mean, I'm friends with his brother, and I remember him as a little baby. And when people say this thing, it astonishes me, because I treat him as a little baby, and I knock him about and I say stupidness with him, not realising how dangerous this man is.
Yeah.
Now I'm wary of that. I'm not even going to go down that road. And I'm being honest with you. You know, that
in the boxing sense, you mean? Of course.
In any sense, in life sense. You know, that's what I'm saying. To me, he's I picture him as a little baby.
Yeah.
And I see him at the age of 13, 14, 15, and like you say, all due respect, I have never seen him disrespect anybody.
Yeah.
And then you hear these horror stories. You know, I hear some crazy, but I never believe him, because I can't picture him in that environment.
Nor can I. No.
Yeah, that's what it is. But
when you see what he puts himself through on a training sense, you know, it's hard. It's such a hard sport. It's the hardest sport, I think, in the world.
It's the most disciplined sport. It's got to be.
Well, definitely. He gets himself up to do his runs. and it would be so easy from all these so-called horror stories. You wouldn't think a man that is meant to have done whatever he's done. I don't know.
Yeah, we're not going to say what he's supposed to allegedly have done or what people say he's done, but
to set his alarm clock and get up and go for his morning runs, and then to be in the gym 3 times a day, and he's done that for over a year. You know, he's got himself into a position now where we will be fighting for titles in a very short space of time.
I mean, he's found his niche, hasn't he? He's got people around him that care, love, and nature him. I think that's what he's been looking for. I think, not judging or want to say anything out of order or anything disrespectful, but I think the brother needs love. You know, he's found the people that care and are pointing him in the right direction and using his ability for what it's made for.
Yeah.
You know, doing stupid on the street, you know, it's a fly-by-night respect. People don't respect you, they fear you. And fear and respect to me are two different things.
Two different things.
They are two different things. Respect is earned and is for a lifetime. You can lose respect in the blink of an eye, it's gone.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. I think he's found.
There's an old saying.
Meeting you for the first time, I think you're great, and obviously you're vibing off each other, and the chemistry is absolutely great. So you know,
there's an old saying which is common in all cultures: crime doesn't pay. And you know, to all the youngsters out there, you've got to stick to that. You know, there's nothing more than you can do than finding a sport that you believe in and know that you're good at, or going to school and learning really hard and then getting a job.
Get into a profession, academic profession, or a sporting career is very, very, very short. You've got to be very good at it, otherwise it's not there. But boxing, like I say, and I'm just... because I was coming from the angle of he's trained so hard. He ain't training that hard to lose. So I get that and I'm feeling that. That's absolutely great. So I'm not even going to go down that road again. So because me, it's always there's a fallback on something. You train this hard. You're disciplined. You're hungry. It's desires there. That hunger you can see it. You know that there. And if you're trying to see who the brother is, I posted a couple of pictures on Facebook and. People out there don't know, we've got Brother Yasser here working away in Ustream. What the Ustream address is? Well, it's here somewhere. Here it is. It's Ustream channel / The Late Show 95.6 FM. And also you can catch us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook and everything else. The brother's obviously in training, been training. I don't want to keep it much longer. So we want to wrap up as quick as we can.
Yeah, just before we wrap up, it's been a real privilege to have you two gentlemen. It's been a great show. Very insightful.
It's been good to be here.
Very insightful. Aji's opened up. He said his story. A lot of the times, people want to say this or want to say that, but you don't really know until you hear it from the horse's mouth, as they say. So he said his bit now, and. We hope that us as a community, we get behind him, we support him. He wants to do something great. It's a positive thing, and I think this will only inspire the community.
This is a shout out to the community.
This is a shout out to the community.
To support our brother. Let's see where we can take him with the love and support. That we
so
have
ticket sales will be going out. I'm going to get to that now. So if you want to buy tickets, the actual fight is on November the 16th. At York Hall, Bethnal Green. Anyone knows boxing knows what York Hall, Bethnal Green is. It's the Mecca, as Andy said earlier before the show. If you go back in history of British boxing, all the great fighters that were British fighters, they went through York Hall, Bethnal Green. That's like the small hall show. That's where you start off. That's the roots. That's where all the blood is on the canvas. All the sweat is there from the beginning.
The hard work.
And then you go to Las Vegas after that.
Hopefully.
So telephone number if you want to buy tickets, it's 07933189648. I'll repeat that again. It's 07933189648. You will see plenty more, obviously, marketing and promotion for this fight on Facebook. My brother Yasser Ali, he's going to be doing a lot of promoting for this. You can go on Aji's Facebook page. He's got a Facebook page, so a lot of information will be coming out, and hopefully we can get a good turnout for his fight. And that's pretty much about it.
Now we'll leave the last word to the general himself.
I just want to basically say thank you to brothers for having me on the show, and just want to say a big shout out to Goodwin Promotions, who's promoting my boxing. He's doing a good job, and hopefully, inshallah, soon we try to get some show in Reading, a big show. Give it a few more fights so we get a big support in Reading. And also a big shout out to the fitness team. So if anyone else wants to get in contact with him, they're one of the best strength and conditioning coaches in Reading at the moment. That's Roddy Slater and Dave Givo. They got the company Raw Elite Fitness.
Where they're based, ready?
They're based in Reading, yeah.
Sorry, what they're called?
It's Raw Elite Fitness. And that's Roddy Slater and Dave Givo.
Soggy might be joining them.
Yeah. Soggy. So yeah, he's good at football.
Somebody's, some of the boys need to get fit. So
I've got a big shout out to my physio, who does a wicked job. I had to see her earlier on today. She's just basically all the punishment I do during the week. I go and see her, and she sorts me out, so I, carry on going. Her name's Manya, and she's based in Wokingham. She's doing a wicked job as well. And I had to say hello to my little boy Junaid and Sophia. He should be sleeping, but he's been messaging me, man.
And your wife, and your mum, and your dad.
And I got like I said, I got a beautiful family.
Mashallah,
so
definitely.
They're all behind me all the way, so it's all good.
Excellent.
Oh,
so yeah, that's about it. So we don't know when the next show is going to be, but keep a lookout for that. We're going to try to keep this as regular as possible. The Late Show. Support us. Support our page. We want to do nothing but good for the community.
Our logo is we represent the people. We want to put people like Aji. We want to we want to back them as he's from our community. We want to back people from the community. Any issues out there regarding any issues in the community, you want to come and air. We're your people. We give you the channel to air your concerns regarding anything regarding female boxing. Sister, if you're out there and you want to promote female boxing, then yes, we're here for you. Whether we support that or not is a different issue. But anything out there, any issues, regarding anything, if you're on a bad path and you want to come off and you want to tell your story like Aji here, anything goes basically. We're here for most people. So usually we have brother Paul Bloomfield in with us, but he's working late for many a reason. We'll tell you next week when he's finished doing what he's doing. Again, brother Yasser, who's obviously the admin behind us. We're just the forefront of this. So any mistakes, inshallah, please forgive us. We again thank you, Aji, for his time, busy man. Let's hope, inshallah, we have him back and he'll tell us how everything went. And also thank you for Andy. Lovely meeting you, bro, and having you
here.
Thank you. So inshallah, we'll be back soon. Thank you.
Brother Soggy. How you doing, Soggy?
Alhamdulillah, assalamu alaikum to listeners out there.
It's good to be back. This is our first show back this year. We set up a little relaunch now with some good promotion, and we're looking to keep this consistent. So we've got the first show we've got. Obviously, we're setting up with a bang. We'll introduce the brothers shortly.